let me transition here and address this question. Doesn't the Bible say you can't serve God and money? Well, the Bible doesn't actually say that. Okay, so I'm going to read this passage to you in Luke 16:13 from the Berean Literal Bible. I've chosen that one on purpose because it has the proper wording. So let's read this. No servant is able to serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and he will love the other, or he will be devoted to one and he will despise the other. You are not able to serve God and mammon. Mammon. The word mammon is the proper, some of these modern translations do this passage a horrible disservice because they replace the word mammon with money. So that's where you get that idea. The Bible says that you cannot serve God and money. The Bible, correctly translated, does not say that. It says you can't serve God and mammon, okay? So then we have to understand what this term mammon is. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to look into that word mammon so we can properly understand this and apply it. So what is mammon? Mammon is an old Aramaic term that simply means wealth regarded as an object of worship and devotion. Okay? It was used by medieval writers as the name of the devil of covetousness. So we could accurately say then that mammon is the false god of money worship. It's a spirit. It's a spirit of selfishness, and selfishness is always idolatrous because selfishness tries to promote, protect, and provide, which means that selfishness tries to take the place of God. See, and selfishness also, by the way, tries to disguise itself in very religious ways. One example of that is in John chapter 12. There's a story of a woman who anointed Jesus with very expensive fragrant oil, poured it all over him, a whole flask of it. And Judas was indignant. Judas complained and said, "Why this waste? That oil could have been sold and the money given to the poor." But that passage goes on to say that Judas cared nothing for the poor because he was a thief who used to help himself to the money bag once in a while. But he tried to disguise his selfishness through a facade of religiosity. And folks, he's not the only one who's done that sort of thing. See, lots of people try to disguise their selfishness behind a facade of religious words and duties. So that's not that uncommon. We talked about that quite a bit in our series on pride, by the way. So then, has God established any kind of strategy to overcome this demonic spirit called mammon? Yes, he has. The spirit of mammon is overcome by practicing generosity as a lifestyle. Mammon is overcome by practicing generosity as a lifestyle. And we're going to talk about this more throughout this series. This is just kind of a little teaser and introduction today. So I'm not going to elaborate on this today except to say that generosity, ladies and gentlemen, is not a suggestion by God. It's a command. It's a command. Because a lifestyle of generosity will help us overcome that idolatrous spirit of selfishness, and generosity also sets us up for more of the blessing and favor of God.